Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Neal, and I am like you. I am a final year student from SIM, and for Toastmasters, I'm a president for San Toastmasters. So introductions aside, let me share with you what I've learned for one morning. Because when that morning was quite special, because on that morning I learned that body influences the mind on how we can actually program ourselves to become an alpha male, or we can program ourselves to be a loser. And then I thought it was interesting when Elena, was it, that reached out to me on whether I want to give a speech on and contribute to a meeting. So I thought, sure. So today we are going to talk about body language, on how the body influences mind. So this is a perfect example. So if we think about how we use our body language to project ourselves, do we think of things like where do we use this on? So mostly we use this on places where we are being evaluated. For instance, for our students, it is job interviews. So for instance, do you remember being sitting like this at the lounge waiting for your interviewer to call you, and then you're just there stressed? Oh, I need this job. I need the money. I hope he hires me. And then you're just stressed. And then you meet the interviewer, and then after that, they say we'll call you back, which is what you always hear. And then for the next 3 weeks or 4 weeks, it's just nothing. And so, meanwhile your friend gets hired. You wonder why. So for instance, people like Donald Trump, why did he get elected for being a president? First of all, researchers have done and seen that 70% of those elected to the US Senate was just based on the physical image of the guy itself. So would you hire someone who are sitting like this? So for instance, if I were to go to an interview and I just sit down here, all quiet, hi, my name is Neal, nice to meet you, please hire me. Will you hire that? No. So researchers have tried to find whether there's a connection between body language and how confident the person is, and whether that affects him being hired. So then the researchers got a few candidates to come into the room and tried to have this link. So for 2 minutes, they got the candidates to do 2 things. One side of the candidates will do these low power poses for 2 minutes. The other candidates will be doing these high power poses. And from that, they asked the candidates to do some gambling to see whether they have high risk tolerance or not. And after that, they'll go through a job interview for about 5 minutes. So first of all, researchers have actually seen that the people who do high poses, spread themselves even wide, are ones who have a 86% probability in actually having more risk, doing more risky things. While those who restrict themselves have a lower percentage, 60%. So then after that, they tried to measure the testosterone change. What is testosterone change? Testosterone is something that you associate with an alpha male who, for instance, he's very assertive. When he says something, means he will do it, and that you can trust the guy to do it. Very confident. Well, if the person has low testosterone, then maybe he'll look like this. You won't even trust the guy. So those who did the high power poses experienced an 80% increase in their testosterone. So after they came out from the high power poses, they'll walk around very confidently and they look like they can own the world. Meanwhile, those who take the low power poses, they will be very scared to actually walk around. And if you were to put them in a networking event, you probably won't even notice them, because they will be just at one side, not doing anything. Meanwhile, the other side will be going around saying, "Hi, my name is Neal. Nice to meet you. Please hire me," or something like that. Or I work as I'm a student. But those who have low power won't do anything. So that's testosterone for you. Next, they measured the stress level change. So for instance, if you have people like Donald Trump, we associate them with a very high testosterone and very low stress levels. So no matter what situations you give to them, they will not stress out. For instance, like Christian Way in movie Hypothetically, he doesn't stress out in events. He will just deal with it as it is. And these are the qualities that people seek out in a lot of people, especially for leaderships or for roles. So for instance, those who did the high power poses, they are more likely to have less stress. And that resulted in a 25% increase in their stress levels. So when they threw them to a stressful situation, they did not freak out. They dealt with it as it is. But those with a low power situation, they themselves become more stressed. They freak out with everything. For instance, they miss the bus and they stress. Oh boy, my day is gonna go bad. Things like this. So then they tried. After that, they put the person, the high power and the low power, to go through a job interview, whereby the person, the interviewer, will just sit there and answer and give this look for 5 minutes straight. The results was phenomenal. Guess what happened? The high power people handled it well and the low power people didn't handle it well, apparently. So they took the video and sent it to a lot of judges to take a look at what happened. Without even listening to what they actually had to say, the judges say, "I will hire the high power people." Those who do not take themselves serious, those who are lower power, they won't even consider them. Doesn't matter what they say. So that is the main thing. So then these high power people will be more confident, and those sitting like this will likely not be hired. So what has this all got to do with things? What does this have to do with all of it? Well, when you think about it, when you go to the job interview, instead of sitting like the one I showed you before, why not try to use this posture instead, like the guy over there? Be happy, be relaxed. Because research has really shown that how you show yourself and behave influences others, not only others, but yourself too. So when you were to sit closely, it shows that you're not really moving, you're weak. You're telling yourself you're weak. And then whatever you project out is going to be weak and nobody's going to care what you say. But if you tell yourself that, yeah, I'm strong. So what if you ask me, so people ask me, my friends, because I share with my friends, they say, what if I can't do it? And I say, fake it. So for a job interview, let me say the job interviewer asks you that, do you think you can do the job? Meanwhile, you yourself at the back, you're thinking, no, I can't. This is way beyond me. This is not even in my competency. But then, if you were to be very assertive and show that, think that, yes, actually I can do it. So then whatever you say will matter. You say, you can do it, I can do it. And then whatever you say, you're likely to convince the guy more. Because he might not really remember what you said, but he will remember how you projected it. So when you were to think of it in this way, keep in mind that when you change the way you think, when you become, to yourself that you become more assertive, you become confident, then bingo, you have the aha moment. So then, last of all, I wish you all the luck, and remember that when you go for a job interview, just tell yourself I can do it and be powerful. Thank you.